Hey out there, this is Jonathan Haupt, the Executive Director of the nonprofit Pat Conroy Literary Center here in Beaufort, South Carolina, joining you for another Museum at Home Monday special feature. And this week I get to talk to you about Pat Conroy's pants. We have an amazing pair of Pat's signed pants here on display in the Conroy Center. Probably a bit of an oddity for an author museum to have, but there's a good story here, and here it is. These pants were part of an auction held during the annual Pulpwood Queens Girlfriends Weekend. Pulpwood Queens are the largest meet and greet book club in the United States, founded by Kathy Murphy, whose own book you can see right there. Pulpwood Queens celebrated their 20th anniversary earlier this year, and a book was published about that as well, in which I was very honored to be invited to provide the afterword. But let's get back to the pants. In 2011, Mr. Conroy was invited to go to Girlfriends Weekend, the annual meeting of the Pulpwood Queens, in support of his book, My Reading Life, which you can see in the case there. Pat went that year with his daughter, Melissa, who had at that point published her first children's book, Poppy's Pants, which we can see right there in both its original and republished edition. Well, on arrival, they realized that authors were expected to bring an auction item to be made available for a special fundraising auction in support of the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. Really wonderful charity. Mr. Conroy had brought nothing, so in honor of his daughter's books, Poppy's Pants, Pat decided to donate a pair of his own khaki pants, which he signed. They sold at auction to a writer named M.L. Malcolm for $1,000. M.L. Malcolm then turned around and donated them to Kathy Murphy, then Kathy Patrick, the woman who had organized the event, with the note that we can see right there in the display case. Kathy had them put into this beautiful shadow box display in 2011, and there they stayed until last year, 2019, when Kathy and her friend Tawana Anderson Neal drove them from Jefferson, Texas to here in Beaufort so they could be added to the permanent display at our Conroy Center. Now, that fundraising auction is still held every year as part of the Pulpwood Queens Girlfriend Weekend in Jefferson, Texas, but for the past several years, the donations have come here to the Conroy Center instead as an annual gift, and we use that funding to put on our own annual book club convention, the Low Country Book Club Convention, held every fall right here in Beaufort. Kathy shares the story of these pants in her essay that appears in Our Prince of Scribes, Writers Remember Pat Conroy, where Melissa also has an essay. Thank you for joining me once again for Museum at Home Monday. Hope to see you again soon, either in person or online.